Hey everyone, and welcome back to another financial check-in video. Today is the last day of October. Happy Halloween if you celebrate. It also means that it's time to take a look at our finances for the month, how much money we spend, how much we made, and take a look at our updated net worth. If you're new here, my name is Amanda, and I'm documenting my journey to reach financial independence with my husband. For some context, I am 29, my husband's 34. We both work in tech. He is a software engineer, I'm a technical support engineer. And our goal is to hopefully reach financial independence within the next 10 years or so. Without further ado, let's get into today's video. Heading on over to Monarch to take a look at our cash flow. So this is Monarch. This is our budgeting app that we use to track our finances, specifically the income that hits our bank accounts. So that's after-tax income, and then all of the expenses that we have for the month. For salary this month, we made around $13,000, and of that salary, 68% is from my husband's paycheck, and then 30% is from my paycheck. And you'll notice that my paycheck fluctuates from month to month. It's because now I get paid on an hourly basis at my new job. So some months I get paid more based on how many hours are part of like the payroll per paycheck. So this month is actually a little bit lower, like $170 lower than normal. And then in terms of our non-salary income, we have $173 from interest. That's just from our high yield savings account. And with interest rates going down, I think a couple days ago it went down again. This will probably be going down as well, but also because we're going to be using our cash to pay for our last earnest payment. So that's pretty much it for our income. Very simple. We just have W-2 jobs, no side hustles. This channel actually just reached 1,000 subscribers, which means it's halfway qualified to be monetized. I'm still missing, I think, the watch hours. So thank you guys so much for subscribing and watching. I never anticipated to have this many subscribers, but I'm glad that some of you mentioned in the previous video that you really enjoy these monthly videos. So I will continue making them, don't worry. And this is probably the only video that I can really commit to on a monthly basis. I don't know if I can commit to any other videos at the moment. But yeah, these monthly videos is something that I enjoy doing, and I hope you guys enjoy watching as well. Moving on to our expenses for the month. So in terms of this month, we did spend a little bit more than I expected, and that is because we spent quite a bit on food. We spent $1,361 dining out, $347 in groceries. This month was particularly busy for us, so we did end up eating out a lot more than cooking. Now that the weather is cooling down, we're probably gonna make a lot of more stews and soups at home, so more cooking next month. In terms of food, we spent a total of $1,708. And our next category here is guilt-free spending. So we did spend $1,092, and this is from booking plane tickets. We're visiting my family in December for the holidays, and then I also booked award travel tickets to Asia next year. If you're part of the award travel credit card churning space, then you'll know that if you purchase plane tickets with points, you still have to pay like a surcharge or like a fee for the taxes or something like that. So it does still cost money even though you're using points to pay. This is just the cost of paying for those fees. If anybody's interested in learning how to book business class tickets to Japan, let me know. Maybe I'll make a tutorial on how I booked my tickets. The next expense here is $200 on shopping, $153 for entertainment and games, $79 for personal care. So that comes to a total of $1,525 for guilt-free spending this month. Moving on to the next group of categories here, we spent $723 on our monthly bills for our dogs, $397 for our HOA, $148 for our phone bill, $97 for electricity, $75 for subscriptions, $71 for internet and cable, and then $531 for insurance. And this is a lot higher than normal because we just paid our semi-annual payment for our car insurance, so that comes twice a year versus on a monthly basis. And then our last category here is taxes and fees, and that's mainly from legal fees, I guess. I didn't really know how to categorize these expenses, but basically I recently got my citizenship here in the US, so I had to pay for my naturalization. I had to pay some fees to get my passport, and I got that expedited since I'm going to be traveling the next couple months, so I wanted to get that as soon as possible. So that's just part of legal fees. I didn't have a specific like government category, so the closest thing is probably legal fees, which is why I put it there. And if you're wondering why we don't have any housing expenses or car payments, it's because our home is currently paid off. Our car is also paid off. We don't have any debts other than our credit card payments that we also pay off every month. But if you're also wondering why our home is already paid off, it's because our parents did help us purchase our current townhome. So the cost of our townhome was around $270,000. They helped pay $200,000, and then we paid the remaining $70,000. And then on top of that, we did renovations, so that was an additional $100,000 from our end. So I guess you can say the value of our townhome is around $370 to $400 now. We're very privileged in the sense that our parents did help us with our housing costs. They gave us a head start in being able to not have to pay a mortgage or have any debts of any sort. So it's been very, very beneficial for us in terms of saving money and investing. So for the month of October, we made a total of $13,211. We spent $5,544. So then our total net income is $7,667, which is a 58% savings rate for the month of October. I feel like we're intentionally spending a little bit less, except for spending more on food. We're trying to keep our spending at a minimum. Technically, I'm prepaying these expenses for next year, so next year I wouldn't have to book these tickets for travel. I think in terms of budget, we don't really have a strict budget of like, oh, we need to spend $5,000 for the month, which fluctuates between $4,000 to $7,000 on any given month, whereas some months are just higher expenses due to certain fees or bills that come up. But on average, I would say about $6,000 to $7,000 a month is where we try to aim for. Anything more than that is probably the result of like an emergency expense that we had to pay. So yeah, I'm pretty happy about this month. We did spend a little bit lower than I expected. So hopefully we only spend $5,000 to $6,000 a month for the next 2 months to close off the year under around like $80K. All right, so that's our cash flow for the month of October. Let's move on to the accounts page now. Okay, so this is our accounts page, and according to Monarch, our net worth is currently sitting at $809,633, which is a $25,000 increase from last month. And you can just see from the graph here, there was like a slight dip on October 11th, and that's, I think, because of the stock market. Something happened that day, but I wasn't paying attention, but yeah, eventually went back up, so it's recovered. So basically nothing really happened here. It's just continued on. And in terms of our credit card balance, we're sitting at $4,772, and that's an increase from last month, which makes sense because we did spend more this month than last month, and these payments are paid off every month in full. And our investments increased by $19,728. So we're at $674,654 in investments. And then our cash went up because we just got paid this month and we didn't have to make any additional payments to our land yet. So we're at $80,603 in cash. In terms of real estate, our land is still sitting at $61,000. Our next payment is actually next month in November, so this will go up to $122,000. And then we close on the land next year. We're just basically moving our cash to this land asset here. And yeah, our primary home is still hidden from our net worth. If you're new here, it's because I like tracking our liquid net worth so that I know exactly how much we have currently. And in terms of planning for financial independence, we don't plan on selling our current home to retire. So that's why I don't include it in our net worth. Even though net worth does include your primary home, I just like tracking our net worth without it. Okay, so that's our account balances on Monarch, but because we get paid on the last day of the month, it doesn't always update the balances since it's pending. So we also track our net worth on a Google Sheet. So just beware for the flash that's about to come. This is our net worth tracker Google Sheet, and this is where we update our balances as well. So for the month of October, we ended with $85,534 in cash, and that's a little bit up from last month since we're also saving as much cash as possible to fund our land closing next year. So that's why we're in super saving mode, and also because our emergency fund will technically be depleted. We want to make sure we have enough cushion in case an actual emergency comes up. So we don't want to be sitting at zero cash just in case something does happen. In terms of retirement funds, we are now at $507,803. So we finally surpassed the 500K mark for our retirement funds. So that's really exciting. I think after I started maxing out my 401k last year, our retirement funds have just been like skyrocketing. So yeah, it's crazy how much compounding happens. I think we're really starting to feel the effects of the compounding based on our contributions. And it's also because the market is doing extremely well. So that's another factor of why it's increased so much. And then in terms of our taxable accounts, we are now at $116,383, which is just from market gains and also my $500 contribution. Last month I mentioned we are stopping all taxable contributions except for my $500 a month. So this will not be going up as quickly as it was earlier in the year. And then for crypto, we are now at $50,503, and that went down slightly because the price of Bitcoin went down a little bit too. I'm also dollar cost averaging into Bitcoin every week, about $200. So we are putting in money, but it's going down. So that's just the nature of Bitcoin. It's just very volatile. Our real estate balance is still sitting at $61,000. So our total for the month of October ended with $821,224. So that's a 3.21 increase from last month, which is a 25.5K increase. In terms of the asset allocation, we are now sitting at 9.9% cash, 61.7% retirement funds, 14.3% taxable accounts, 6.5% crypto, and then 7.7% real estate. In terms of how much we contributed to the month of October, so I contributed $3,069 in total across my 401k, my taxable account, and then in crypto. And then my husband contributed $2,663 across his 401k and HSA. So in total, we contributed $5,730 for the month of October. And for the year, we've contributed around 112.7K. I also wanted to get a better estimate of how much we've contributed in total. So I know how much I've contributed in the past since I had to liquidate all my Canadian assets to move to the US. But my husband didn't track his expenses until he met me. So these are just like estimates of how much he's contributed to his 401k and Roth IRA previously. The total amounts for his side is a little bit inaccurate, but we did our best to calculate how much we've contributed so we get a better idea of how much money we put in versus how much the money has grown. So far, we've contributed about $395,714 of our money in total. And of that, the market basically doubled our contribution. So what I'm trying to say is, I don't know what I'm trying to say. That's pretty much it for our financial check-in for the month. Because we hit 1,000 subscribers recently, I asked my husband if he wanted to do a video with me. He probably won't be in like the camera, but he'll be in the background and we'll just do like a Q&A kind of video. So if you have any questions for both of us, leave them in the comments down below and we'll try to make that video within the next 2 months before the end of the year. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Don't forget to subscribe if you want to follow along in our journey. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you guys had a wonderful Halloween, and I'll see you guys in the next month. Take care. Bye-bye.